Hello, my name is Dwayne Kimball, owner and founder of KMD 89 VA Claims Consultant, Leave No Vet Behind, and also I'm a United States Army veteran. Today I'm bringing you another educational video as it pertains to the VA disability compensation claims process. And today I'm going to be discussing the newly signed into law PACT Act. Okay, it's the VA's PACT Act. But before we get into today's video, as always, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Also, don't forget, you can follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So today's video, the president just signed in the VA's newly PACT Act, and it uncovers a lot of new information, a lot of new presumptives, benefits on the VBA side, and benefits on the VHA, Veterans Healthcare Administration side. Okay, so I received an email a couple of days ago about the PACT Act when Congress passed it, and I went to the website, the VA's website, and they got a lot of good information that shows the changes, and definitely it's easy to follow. Okay, but we're going to go through some of that. I'm going to share my screen with you, and we're just going to go down the list, and I'm going to show you some of the updated information. Okay. So here is the link to the VA's website, and I'm going to put this link in the description section of this video. Okay. So it says the PACT Act and your VA benefits. The PACT Act is a new law that expands VA health care and benefits for veterans exposed to burn pits and other toxic substances. This law helps us provide generations of veterans and their survivors with the care and benefits they've earned and deserve. Now, it said law expands VA healthcare and benefits. So what they're telling you, healthcare on the VHA side, Veterans Healthcare Administration, and benefits on the Veterans Administration side. Okay, so a lot of my videos are talking about VBA, Veterans Benefits Administration. Okay, so as it pertains to different things that they're going to do on the healthcare side, you're going to have to call your local VA medical center and get those updates. Okay, now it goes on. What I really like about what the VA did, it came out with some good information. Like I said, I researched it, and they really did. I think they really did a good job in explaining these changes, which is a lot different from maybe, let's say, 10 or 15 years ago. Okay, so it says, what's the PACT Act and how will it affect my VA benefits and care? It says the PACT Act is perhaps the largest healthcare and benefit expansion in VA history. The full name of the law is the Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson, honoring our promise to address comprehensive toxic PACT Act. Okay. And it says the PACT Act will bring these changes, expands and extends eligibility for VA healthcare for veterans with toxic exposures and veterans of the Vietnam, Gulf War, and post 9/11 eras. Add more than 20 new presumptive conditions for burn pits and other toxic exposures. Adds more presumptive exposure locations for Agent Orange and radiation. Okay. It also rounds it up as requires VA to provide a toxic exposure screening to every veteran enrolled in VA healthcare. So again, if you're trying to get a screening, you're going to have to contact your local VA and see what procedures they have in place for you to do that. Okay. Then the next one, it says, what does it mean to have a presumptive condition for toxic exposure? Now, this is key because a lot of veterans are going to be claiming conditions under Gulf War or even Agent Orange presumptive, especially for the conditions that are going to be added to that list. To get VA disability rating, your disability must connect to your military service. For many health conditions, you need to prove that your service caused your condition. But for some conditions, we automatically assume, I'll read that again, but for some conditions, we automatically assume or presume that your service caused your condition. We call these presumptive conditions. Okay, so what that means is if you have a diagnosis that's on this list, I'm going to show you the updated list, then they're going to assume or presume that if you meet the criteria, particular location, particular time frame, that either toxin or Agent Orange caused you to have this condition. All right. If you have a presumptive condition, you do not need to prove that your service caused the condition. You only need to meet the service requirements for the presumption. Okay, again, you only need to meet the service requirements. You have to still find out what are those service requirements: date, location, condition. Okay, you have to still meet those requirements. So again, this is where this education comes in and research comes in. You're going to have to dig deep into what you're doing with your claim and see if you meet those requirements. Okay. Then we get into the Gulf War era, post 9/11 veteran eligibility. What burn pit and other toxic exposure conditions are now presumptive? Okay, so we click on this plus sign. Now, really, again, I think I have to commend the VA. I know the VA gets a bad rap, but I have to really commend them on the way they outline this information. I'm familiar looking at these different regulations and stuff, and I think they did an awesome job in explaining what is presumptive, and there's some additional things we're going to jump in a little bit later. Okay, so then it says we have added more than 20 burn pit and other toxic exposure presumptive conditions based on the PACT Act. This change expands benefits for Gulf War era and post 9/11. Now, 20. Back when I used to be a rating specialist before I retired, one of the things that was new back, I think in 2010, they added 3 conditions to the Agent Orange list. Now, this is not Agent Orange, but Gulf War, they added 20. Okay, so if you go down, they say these are cancers are now presumptive: brain cancer, head cancer of any type, kidney cancer, let's see, neck cancer, pancreatic cancer. So a lot of cancers, okay? These illnesses are now presumptive: asthma, chronic bronchitis, COPD, chronic rhinitis, chronic sinusitis, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, sarcoidosis, okay? So again, do you have one of these diagnoses, and do you meet the requirements? That's key. You just can't say, oh, I got this diagnosis, but what are the requirements, okay? So now let's go to, how do I know if I have a presumptive exposure to burn pits? Okay, so these are the locations. Now we get into the requirements. So on or after September 11, 2001, in any of these locations. Now, there already are some locations for Gulf War, okay? But you want to make sure, again, you do that research and you go through and you find out where you were located, all right? So again, on or after September 11, 2001, and then it goes on to say on or after August 2nd, 1940. I'm sorry, 1990. Wow, 1940. On or after August 2nd, 1990, okay? So that's one of the requirements. So here's some information about the radiation. I'm not going to get into it, but I just wanted to show you that they're giving you some information about radiation presumptive as well, okay? Now, getting benefits. How do I file a disability claim for a new presumptive condition? It says if you haven't filed a claim yet for the presumptive condition, you can file a new claim online. You can also file by mail, in person, or with the help of a trained professional. Okay, look at those claim forms. I don't think you need a trained professional to tell you, hey, you need to put your name, address, and social security number and send the paperwork in. Now, if we denied your disability claim in the past and we now consider your condition presumptive, you can submit a supplemental claim. We'll review your case again. So they're telling you, if you meet these criteria for Agent Orange, for Vietnam service, or Gulf War, and these new conditions are on there, now you could come in and file. You have to file a supplemental claim, which is a VA form 20-0995. Okay. Now I'm going to do a follow-up video once they go ahead and put these conditions on the list. That way, when I do that, I'll explain to you how they can backdate it and how that'll affect your effective date. Okay. Let's see, we already talked about what if the VA, let's get into this. Okay, so what if the VA denied my claim but now considers my condition presumptive? Again, they talk about supplemental claim, all right? What if I have a pending claim for a condition that is now presumptive? You don't need to do anything. If we need your condition, if we added your condition after you file your claim, we'll still consider it presumptive. We'll send you a decision notice when we complete our review. Now, for those of you that this particular situation falls under, one thing that you want to pay close attention to is the effective date. Because let's just say you filed 2 years ago and they still haven't made a decision on your claim. You want to make sure they get that effective date right, okay? And that's also for veterans that filed a claim for any of these conditions that are now on the presumptive list 10 or 15 years ago, okay? And I always tell people, I share my claims folder. If you didn't keep everything that you submitted to the VA, now might be the best time to submit that FOIA request and get a copy of that claims folder to see when you submitted for one of those conditions that are now on the presumptive list, okay? Then it asks, can I apply now? It says yes. You can go ahead and you can apply now. Okay, it was something else I want to, okay. Vietnam. I skipped over that, I'm sorry. Based on the PACT Act, we've added 2 new Agent Orange presumptive conditions: high blood pressure, and I'm not going to try to pronounce that second one. But what that means is, if you, let's say, for example, you claim high blood pressure due to Agent Orange exposure back in 1982. Now they have to take that into consideration. Same way in 2010 when they added ischemic heart disease. They had to do stage ratings all the way back when those veterans filed those claims, okay? So again, you always want to make sure you have a copy of that claims folder. With new Agent Orange presumptive locations. Any U.S. Royal Thai military base in Thailand. You got Laos, Cambodia, Guam, all right? So what this is, the requirements. This is part of the requirements, okay? And then they have with new radiation presumptive locations, okay? And I'll just leave that up for a quick sec. But again, I will put this link to the VA's website in the description section of this video, all right? So a lot of information, but again, I think the VA did an awesome job of explaining it, but just don't stop at this link. Dig into the M21, continue to look at the 38 CFR, get more information before you file your claim. That way you're giving your claim the best chance of success and they're not denying you, okay? So one thing, what is the one thing you need? You need a current diagnosis, right? And then you got to figure out what are the requirements if you're claiming it based on presumptive for Gulf War or Agent Orange, the location, has that been updated? Okay, so there's still things that you may have to do as a veteran, okay? So with that being said, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification button, and don't forget to share this video with your fellow veterans. Thank you.